Hey everybody, it's Mike Sullivan with Born to Shine. Today we have a great guest. His name is Dr. Brian Uplinger, and he is the superintendent over in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, over a really cool school district. And Brian, thank you for carving out some time with us today.
Oh, it's absolutely my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. And what was your journey like, Brian, to become the superintendent? Because there's a lot of people looking up to you for your leadership, your guidance, your wisdom. What was your journey like?
Sure. It was long. And we'll start, I guess we'll start at the beginning where you really should start a story, I guess. And it 28 years ago, I've been in the business, if you will,
Mm.
of education for 28 years. My first year, I'm certified teacher, everything, I have all of my certifications that I need to become an educator. Um, However, I was hired in the district that I started in as a paraprofessional. So I
Mm.
was a paraprofessional in a life skills classroom for a year, and the head swimming and diving coach of that district as well.
Oh.
So it was. Everybody says, "Well, didn't you play football or basketball or anything like that in high school?" I said, "No, I swam," and it was great because then it helped with a lot of different things that I had had dealt with as a kid. So it was fantastic. So I was that paraprofessional for a year. Following that, I became the dean of students at the middle school, and this is in St. Mary's, Pennsylvania. Dean of students at the middle school for a year because the gentleman that was in that position prior was out on active duty. So they had asked me to fill in. I was with a brand new principal. I'm brand new to the building as well. So we had a great time and, getting things back to where they should have been, and in a better place, for all those students in sixth, seventh, and eighth grade there. Following that, I became a fourth grade teacher. They
Mm.
said, what's it going to take to keep you here in the district? You're doing a great job. I said, I need a full-time job. I have a family. I need that, I need
Mm.
that stability. So uh, they uh, gave me a fourth grade position in South St. Mary Street Elementary School. Uh, I taught there for 5 years and loved it, loved every minute of it. Then I got called back to active duty, if you will, to
Mm.
the middle school um, for another stint as the dean of students because the gentleman was called back out to
Mm.
active duty. And again, great, great opportunity, a great time. That really solidified that message or that voice in my head saying, I do want to become an administrator. Just knowing that what I was able to do in the classroom, now I want to take it on a bigger stage and be able to at least help support the entire building rather than a classroom.
Mm.
So during that time, I worked on my principal's uh, certification, my master's, all of that while I was teaching and dean of students. I became an assistant principal in Erie, Iroquois, small school district. Assistant principal there. I served in that position for about a month before I was promoted to principal in the same building, and or I'm sorry, 3 months later became principal in that building, which was a great honor, a great opportunity. And following that, or while I was in that position, I worked on my superintendent letter of eligibility and mentored with the superintendent at the time at Iroquois. He said, Brian, why do you want to become a superintendent? You're doing a great job as a principal. Just stay in the building. You're great with the kids. You're great with the staff. Why do you want to become a superintendent? And I said, I just want to grow up to be just like you. He said, you're nuts. You're absolutely crazy. Why would you ever do that? I said, well, I just have that feeling that I need again to do something a little bit bigger. Superintendent is a bigger job, obviously. So then I was promoted, or not promoted, but I applied to another district as an assistant superintendent, became an assistant superintendent at Northwestern Lee High School District here in Pennsylvania. Um, and following that short time that I was there, I was looking for other opportunities. Could I become a superintendent with that training under my belt? Yes, I could. So I became superintendent at Pine Grove Area School District. Then I became superintendent at Central Green School District, and then now here in Hazleton. So it was a long journey. Again, like I said, 28 years. I've been in the district for 8,
Mm.
um, which is unheard of these days. You know, the term of a superintendent typically isn't long, just because of the stress and the level of responsibility that is placed on someone's shoulders. But I've been very fortunate. I've worked with a great board. My staff is incredible. The students are great. Your parents are wonderful. So it's been a fantastic opportunity here in Hazleton.
That is such a cool story, and I love how it was incremental growth and how you loved the path,
Right,
that led you
right,
there. That's really
right.
cool.
And it wasn't something that we had to do. It wasn't something I had to move on from those other positions. It was something that internal called and said, you need to go, you need to do this, you need to do this. And my wife was incredibly supportive, still is incredibly supportive, as well as our children. So it's, kudos to them supporting me through this journey as well.
Absolutely. That's such a blessing right there to have your wife behind you, your kids behind you. Yeah, that's a blessing. And when you were a K through 12 student, Brian, was there anything that you struggled with emotionally? For me, I was bullied in third grade, and it led to anxiety and depression. I had all these really big feelings in this little body, and it just got worse in middle school and high school until some caring adults came in to guide me and give me some tools. But was there anything that you maybe struggled with when you were K-12?
Yeah. And like I alluded to a little earlier with the swimming
Mm,
piece, I probably could have gotten the same thing if I would have played basketball or if I would have played football. Um, but I was always pulled towards the water for
mm,
whatever reason.
mm,
And so with that, I had struggled with my weight for a
mm,
long, long time. And it, and I guess going back to what you had mentioned about yourself being bullied. So
mm,
you're an overweight person. I was short, and very round, a very large child. And I think once I hit that water, it all basically melted away, if you will. And
mm,
helped that helped with that situation. It helped with the bullying, that went away. And I grew rapidly. But at the beginning of ninth grade, I was maybe 5'5". By the time I hit the end of ninth grade, I was 6 foot. So that helped. And I can't attribute that to swimming. Obviously, that's genetics, but uh, that helped tremendously to get in that water, to shed those pounds, and to really uh, grab onto something that I enjoyed. And during that time, I was because of the water, I became a lifeguard. I became an instructor, lifeguarding instructor. I got my EMT certification. I was a volunteer fireman, volunteer EMT. Um, I could teach first aid, CPR, AED, all of that stuff. So that was the motivator, I guess, to get away from that other uh, person that I was, that short, heavy set kiddo, to this, taller, not so heavy, still a little bit on the way, big side, but that certainly helped.
Yeah, it's amazing how sports and doing something that you love, which was swimming, and now you have fellowship, you have friends that are all you're part of a team, right? And they're all
Right,
supporting you, and you're supporting each other. How that can be a real, it's kind of like a safe place, where you build each
right.
other up. So that's great
Very,
that
very
you
true.
found that.
Very true. Yeah.
And if we had a magic wand and we can just get anything we wanted to support our students with their social emotional learning and growth and their emotional and mental wellness, what would that look like at your school for next year?
Sure. We do a lot of programs right now that support our students. We have Rachel's Challenge, that is received very well at the high school level. We have a number of different programs that we bring in speakers. We have different assemblies and things of that nature at our middle school and elementary levels to tell them that it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to stay that way.
Right.
So we need to really instill that in them, that they need to talk to someone.
Hmm.
So to keep that train moving in the right direction, it's really important. Obviously, we have counselors and we have principals and people trained in our student assistance program that can assist students, but it's really important for other students to be also involved and have that peer interaction. Just as you had mentioned, you were bullied, and myself, I was bullied. If we can get rid of that piece of it, if we could really work on the peer interaction between our students
Hmm.
and that level of um, coordination or that level of camaraderie, uh, I think that would go even much farther than us adults trying to tell students that they shouldn't bully or they shouldn't, do this or that or do that, or it's okay to not be okay. But have a student tell another student that, I think it goes a really long way, that in preserving that situation or even assisting that situation for the students.
Absolutely. I love that. That's so true. That camaraderie, that team feel, that the unity, you're all in this
Right.
together and you're all building each other up. Yeah, 100% agree.
Right.
And if there's someone watching this, Dr. Uplinger, that's maybe a student or maybe a staff member or even a parent, is there something that you'd want to leave him or her with, like maybe some words of encouragement or whatever's on your heart? This is all you.
Yeah. So going back to the same thing, it's really important to have that team, that supportive group around you. And I can say that with a million times confidence here in Hazleton area that we have that team, that we have that camaraderie, we have the availability of people to be there to listen, even if they're not going to say anything back to you, they're going to sit there and listen to you. That's really important, and I pride myself on that. My door is always open.
Mm.
Uh, People have reached out to me numbers of times through email, through phone calls. They've come in to meet. I've met them at different schools, so just for them to know that it's uh, that we're available, that it's not a closed off district. That the doors are open. Um, that was something, like I said, in all of my positions that I've held, that I pride myself on, that I'm here, I'm available, and I'm willing to listen. So that's really important to get that across, that there are people out there willing to listen and are available, and you're not bothering. That's what they do. That's it. Going back to your statement of what's on my heart, that's in my heart. I'm
Mm.
available, and people just need to know that. So it's really important to share that, and other people share that as well. But to have other people know that they're available for them.
Yeah, I love that. That's beautiful. Brian, thank you so much for sharing your heart and for sharing your passion and sharing your story. It's really inspiring. Thank you for carving out some time for us today.
Absolutely, I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you.
You were born to. You were born